Nightmare County. I'm your host, Randall M. Gould. And we're just a couple of days away from Halloween. And in this video, I wanted to talk about a slasher movie that I think belongs in your Halloween playlist. And also just, it's a slasher movie that I think that everybody needs to know more about and deserves more recognition than what it gets. In fact, I'm going to start a thing for every Saturday. I'm going to bring up and talk about a slasher movie. And I think it'll be a lot of fun because I like to touch on a lot of the 80s and even some 90s slasher movies that a lot of people don't know. I'll probably switch back from week to week to talk about an 80s slasher movie or a 70s or 90s or 2000s or whatever. But this movie that I'm going to talk about today is The Funhouse, directed by Tobe Hooper and was released back in 1981. It's made on a budget of $3 million, and it grossed more than its budget back with almost $8 million. And that doesn't sound a lot. It doesn't sound a lot, but for the time period, early 1980s, it did pretty well. It made its budget back and then some. Because you got to think about how movies were released. They weren't released like they are today and everything, and thousands of theaters and stuff. So it actually made its money back and everything. This movie is a complete favorite of mine. This is one of those movies or slash movies that I try to let people know about and tell them that if you want a slasher movie that's set in a dark carnival ride or a dark ride at a carnival, this is a movie for you. If you want a movie that'd be great to play along with, like Halloween and other Halloween-esque horror movies, I would again throw this movie in there because I guess from where I come from, where I was raised, our carnivals only really came around during the fall. We didn't really have any carnivals in the springtime or summer or anything like that because this is too dang hot. And so we mainly only had carnivals in the fall. So I guess that's why this movie fits so well, in my opinion, to go along with during the Halloween season stuff, because that's actually when our carnival would come to town and everything. And this is just a perfect movie for that type of atmosphere and everything. There's not too many dark rides anymore, which I love for dark rides to make a comeback. Dark rides were some of my favorite rides to ride in at a carnival and everything. So whenever I go somewhere and I find out they got a carnival, if they have a dark ride, if I find out about it, I make an attempt to go to one. But the last one I went to was probably in the early 2000s. To show you how I haven't seen a dark ride in some time. But I know, further up north out of Texas and stuff like that, in other states and everything, there are dark rides, just far and few between, especially in areas like where I live and everything. You're not going to see one probably. But the Funhouse is a perfect combination of just all these things working together. It's about a group of teens who get together and want to go to the local carnival. And they make the tragic mistake of getting off the dark carnival ride or the dark ride at the carnival and hiding out, doing things they shouldn't be doing, being promiscuous and everything, and seeing something they shouldn't see that ends up getting them trapped at the carnival and the dark ride, for that matter, getting trapped on the dark ride. And they have to find a way to survive the night, or find a way to survive and get out of there. That's pretty much the story in a nutshell. But if you would have heard the story like I did when I was a kid, I had talked about this movie previously in an older video, but just to bring it up again, when I was a kid, I heard the story of the Funhouse before I'd ever seen the movie. My dad had read the Dean Koontz book, novelization book, and had basically gave us a Cliff Notes version for when I was 10 years old, 11 years old actually, I think. When I was 11, we had a bunch of friends over. Me and my brother had friends over. We went out into the woods and we all camped outside out in the woods and everything, and around a campfire and everything. We're all under the shed. It's stormy, and the weather started picking up and everything. Well, anyways, my dad's telling me the story about the Funhouse, and that version of the Funhouse to me is better than anything that I could ever see in person, because of the atmosphere, hearing my dad tell the story, and you have to understand the Dean Koontz book. Actually, he was commissioned to make a book about this movie and everything, and the movie ended up being pushed, didn't come out when it was supposed to, and the book ended up being released before the movie did. So, when you read the Dean Koontz's The Funhouse, which, by the way, if you like reading and you want a good spooky book, The Funhouse is probably, in my opinion, one of Dean Koontz's top 10 books. It's just a fun read. It's spooky, it's creepy, and it's everything that you want in a horror book. But Dean Koontz adds a ton of backstory and character and plot that makes the Funhouse incredibly unique, in my opinion. And I guess I haven't quite read a book quite like it, and a movie's never been made quite like the book was written. Even though Tobe Hooper did a fantastic job with this movie, the book's actually better. And I hate to say that, but because I love this movie, but I honestly believe the book is better. But the monster still comes across, the killer comes across as fantastic. And either way, even when I read the book and then I see the movie, everything just worked, and I love that about it. The backstory is the only thing missing from the movie, really, and some character subplots and stuff. And other than that, the movie's fantastic. It's pretty much spot on with the book. It's just the book just has a whole lot more meat to it than the movie does. And but still, the movie's fantastic. It's just it's got a great killer. Probably one of my favorite slasher villains or killers in all of the slasher movie genre. He's got a unique look, and he's actually kind of sympathetic in some aspects, because the reason why he does these things is for a certain reason. And he's just not a mindless killer. He's doing this because there's a reason behind it. And you have to see the movie because it pushes it forward. And I think that's one of the best things about the movie is you do feel sympathetic towards this thing that's going to try to kill all these people. And some of the people are just jerks. You don't like them because they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. Typical teen fodder to be cut up and everything. But you'll like the survivor. And there's also they bring in this little boy, the brother to one of the sisters that's in the group and everything, and that adds a good little more plot to the story and everything, because you're dealing with him and everything, and it's a little throwback in the movie also to Halloween, the intro to Halloween with the way the Funhouse starts off and everything. It's just a fun movie. Tobe Hooper, to me it's incredibly underrated and needs to be seen by everybody, especially love Halloween. You're going to like the Funhouse. Takes place pretty much all in one location in a carnival, which to me is, well, I don't know why more movies haven't done this, but I mean, you have had movies that have taken place like at haunted houses and stuff like that, but a carnival, something about this makes it a bit more magical and a little bit more creepier and everything. It's a fantastic movie. It's a favorite of mine, and I'll definitely be showing this to my kids as they get older and everything. And I wish they would read the book, and I'll probably go through give them the Cliff Notes version of the movie as well, because it was better than the movie. But again, it's a great movie. It's fun. Got great killers. Got great kills. Great setting. Great atmosphere. Great music by John Beals, the horror score. Yeah, I think it's John Beals. The horror score is awesome, and it's one of those horror scores that a lot of people just don't know about because they haven't seen the movie. And it's not quite like as iconic as the music from Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, but it's up there. And I think if you see this movie or seek out the musical score of the Funhouse, you'll definitely enjoy it. But anyways, check this out. The only you'll have to basically rent this movie. I don't think I've ever seen it for being shown on any of these streaming services for free. If it is on a streaming service, I'll seek it out and look it up, and I'll post it down the info below and everything. But Scream Factory did a great release of this on Blu-ray that I think that should be picked up, and that's also being re-released on is in 4K as well. So I don't even know how that would look, but I'm pretty sure it looked fantastic and everything. But like I said, every Saturday we're going to do Slasher Saturday, where I'm going to talk about a slasher movie either from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s on up to today. And we all know that some of the slasher movies today that are being released aren't that great, but I'll talk about them anyway. Because I believe it's the golden era of slashers from the 80s, and even some of the slasher movies released in the late 90s after Scream came out are, to me, those are the cream of the crop, the best ones and everything. But that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe, because I greatly appreciate it. And I'll be releasing another video tomorrow, and more likely it's going to be about zombies, or it might be about a martial arts movie that features zombies, vampires, ghosts, or whatever. Be supernatural or anything. But like I said, hope you enjoyed this video, and don't be a stranger and tune in.